Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends X-Men 97 GAMBIT. GAMBIT being one of my all-time favorite X-Men characters, especially as he was portrayed in the old 90s cartoon, and from what I can tell, he looks somewhat similar, and so that's a good thing. I like that. I have no idea. Is this show even out? I haven't been paying attention to anything. I have had no free time, so I don't know what's going on in terms of actual media stuff. But anyway, why isn't it spinning? Oh, that's okay. You got to look at the figure. It doesn't have to be spinning. So anyway, people have been telling me this is one of the worst figures of the wave, and then a few people have been saying, oh, it's the best figure of the wave. And other people have been saying, there's so many people, that these head sculpts are the best head sculpts Hasbro's ever done. It's like, I don't know, like, if you like them, that's fine, but I don't know what's going on with collectors that collect Hasbro products these days. They're so inconsistent in what they like, and what they like doesn't usually line up with what is actually good. For Hasbro Marvel Legends collectors specifically, that's what I'm talking about. Not all of them, of course. There are always outliers in different subsets and things like that, but it is a very strange phenomenon, and I think phenomenon. Anyway, I didn't sleep at all last night, so this is going to be a good review. Let's just get into it. So let's get him off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, so before we look at the figure, I want to show you my package. It is a nice one. Again, we have the retro card for the thing that isn't actually retro. They're just capturing that nostalgia and for the show. And for the card, it's not even a particularly good looking card. It doesn't match anything, and it's just whatever. The blue at the bottom throws it off for me. I don't quite get it. I don't know. But the good thing is they did give us an image of the character the way he's supposed to look. Hasbro's been doing that for some figures lately, thanks for that, because it doesn't look like this. The colors aren't terrible, but they're not accurate, and that's a problem. You can see the outfit underneath the jacket, different color. This has a lot more blue to it than that. This is hot pink, like bubblegum almost. This is definitely closer. It's not purple, but it has more blue in it, so there's that. The jacket's close-ish, but this has a little bit more red to it. It's a little brown. This is very pale. But most importantly, the hair. The hair that people argue isn't actually red hair is very much closer to red on here than on here. Very different colors. And then we can just look at the face. Let's get in nice and tight there so you can see the face. It's not even close to accurate. Not even close. One of the notable features on this guy's face, particularly his eyes, is the little fat pocket that's up to the outside of the eye, under the brow. His are notable. You can see the little downward line right there on either eye. This guy doesn't have that at all. This looks like the most weird head sculpt I've ever seen. People were saying it looks like Fortnite Bishop. This is the most Fortnite head sculpt I think Hasbro's ever done. It's terrible. We'll get into that, but just wanted to give you that comparison while it's there. That's what he's supposed to look like. You can't argue with me that it's accurate because it's right there in front of you. You can see that it's not even close to accurate. So there's the packaging, there's the figure. Even on here, he had better colored hair and a better looking head, but oh, you can't see it. Oops. Tell you what. My kid hit terrible twos at about 18 months, and sleep is not something I get anymore. But there you go. You can see it's not very accurate. All right, moving on to the actual figure itself. This guy stands, not surprising, let's call it 6 3/4 to the top of the head with a little bit of hair flip on top of that. It's going to be about 17 centimeters. And there he is up against Darwin. He has outscaled Darwin significantly. We have seen this body before. I think the jacket's new. Correct me if I'm wrong. We got a lot of Gambits relatively recently. So the jacket's probably new, but I believe everything else is reused. Other than the head. So yeah, it's a thing. Let me know. Question of the day. How do you guys feel about this figure? I've heard that it's the most basic looking Marvel Legends figure ever, and obviously that's not the case because we have figures like future Ant-Man and things like that. But yeah, in terms of paint, this guy is sorely lacking. Very plasticky. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the aesthetic. As far as the plastics go, I don't mind. Okay, so let me preface this, or preface. He needs paint badly, all over the place, especially with the jacket. There's no wash or anything, and it's not saturated enough brown, so it's definitely lacking. However, the jacket and the sleeve parts are all made out of PVC and they all match, so it looks way better than it could have. They could have screwed things up worse. So there's that. And then for the undersuit, this is as glossy as plastic gets. It's so shiny and polished and bright pink rather than having that slightly purplish hue, which actually we're closer to getting down here on accident. We'll get to that in a second. But I don't care for this. Let me know what you guys think about this shiny pink. And then the painted part here doesn't match. It's not shiny at all. The metallic blues I'll take. They're not perfectly accurate, but at this point we're grasping for straws. Grasping at straws? I can't speak anymore. Who knows? So then we have these parts down here, which are a different color pink entirely. They are closer to like a fuchsia, but just barely, and they're very desaturated and very poorly painted. And they didn't obviously put any paint on the pin, so far this figure isn't exactly looking good. And then we have the head, which they went for that cartoon look again, so we have that weird stubbly chin that looks just ridiculous. The face is painted, so his face looks like the cheapest craft store paint. It's not painted particularly well. The eyes are okay, but the sculpt is just really bad. It's not accurate to the source material. That's how I determine if the sculpt is good or bad. That being said, even if this wasn't accurate, but still a good sculpt, I'd let you know. It's not. He's missing bone structures that he really should have. At least a little bit. It's very tubular and weird looking. And then the hair, I know they're going for the cartoon hair. I don't mind it. I know some people are saying how ridiculous it is. It looks pretty accurate to the source material, so I can't really complain. It is a bit much, I would say. He's got kind of a soccer mom thing going on, but I don't mind it other than the coloring and lack of shading. So, ultimately, it's not as bad as it could have been, but it is pretty darn bad. I think, let's see, he's not as bad as Magneto. Magneto is by far the worst one I've reviewed so far. Bishop being the best. I would put this guy somewhere around the same place as Wolverine. A lot of people are going ape over Wolverine, but it's not anything special at all. In fact, the previous releases have been better. So this one I'm going to put right at the same level as Wolverine. It's not the worst thing in the world. If you like the really basic bare plastic cartoon look, then you're going to love it. If you don't, then you're going to hate it. I'm going to give this guy's aesthetic rating a 5 out of 10. It could be worse. All right, now as far as accessories go, he does come with the gripping hand and the two-finger card holding hand on him in the package. You get one card throwing hand, which is the same accessory we've seen before. It is executed better this time than maybe ever before, so that's nice, but it still makes no sense. Why is the swoosh in front of his hand? It makes zero sense at all. You get one charged card accessory, which is done well enough, and you get a blue metallic version of his staff, which is not bad, so that's an okay spread of accessories. It's not the most we've seen, but it'll do. I will go 7 out of 10. The lack of alternate hands is not good. No fist hands, no relaxed hands. So he better be doing something with his hands or he's going to look really weird on your shelf. I guess you could pose him like this. No, that's not even a sign. It looks like he's trying to move something with his mind. Yeah, I don't know. All right, let's talk about the articulation. Maybe that's going to save this guy. He does have a lollipop for sure, but let's see. He can look down and up and rotates around, so that's okay. It's not a bad example of the Marvel Legends articulation. It's just bad articulation in general. Shoulders should work all right. Let's see. Yep, full rotation all the way out to the side. Bicep swivel is fine. Single jointed elbow, I don't mind it. It's slightly better than 90. That's gonna be enough. Like, it would be better to be double jointed, but this is a much more seamless look for the baggy sleeve. I don't mind it at all. That's fine. Plus, you get an extra swivel down here, and it helps in posing, so that's all right. Wrists have a swivel and a hinge. Ab crunch on this guy. All the way forward. It's just one notch, though. Well, I guess you can kind of sit it in between. It wants to sit at the main notches, but you can keep it in between if you want to. Doesn't really go back at all, thanks to the jacket. So fairly limited, but reasonable. Waist twist is a waist twist. Hips go better than horizontal, so that's nice. They do kick out to the side just a touch when you do that. Going out to the side, though, we're only getting 45 degrees because Hasbro cannot figure out where to place joints. It's amazing. On new sculpts, like, this isn't that old. They made this not that long ago, and they still got the hips wrong. All right, thigh swivel is a thigh swivel. Double jointed knee. Nice range, no problem there. Proportioning is not terrible. It's not perfect, but it's pretty solid, so I'll take that. And then you do get a boot swivel. If you like that, it's in there. And for the ankle, it goes all the way back and all the way forward, and you get a solid ankle rocker. His articulation's not bad. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing special, but it's good enough. So I'm going to give him an articulation rating of 7 out of 10. There's nothing noteworthy in any direction, really. Okay, and so now it's time for the final verdict. This figure has all the bones of a good figure, and I think with a good paint job, you could bring it to life wonderfully. I still think the head sculpt is way inaccurate, and it's a very flat sculpt. There's no real feature detail on his head. But I do think if you were so inclined to paint this guy, it's good enough. The proportioning's not bad. It's all there, but it really needs paint. The lack of paint makes this thing look really cheap, and then that really horribly painted face makes it look even worse. So I'm going to give this one an overall rating of, I'm going to do 2. If you're not going to paint it, which I'm assuming you're not, this guy gets a 4 out of 10. It's just not good enough. It's just not good enough. That ugly face ruins it. It's glossy, thick paint on a not great sculpt, and then no paint anywhere else to speak of. So that's that. If you are willing to at least put a wash on the jacket and the hair, it would come to life. If you wanted to paint it a little bit more with some dry brushing here and there, it would really come to life. And you can get like a 7 out of this. It's close, but Hasbro shot themselves in the foot by making it look like a McDonald's toy with all the bare plastic. It looks very, very cheap. And then what they did paint is bad, like the legs and the face. So it's a weird one because it's close to being good, but also they didn't want it to be good. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm a little bit torn as a reviewer. Personally, subjectively, I don't care for it, just because of the flatness and the horrible head. But it could have been a lot worse. So let me know what you guys think. Alright guys, there it is. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, the thumbs down will do. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos every day but Wednesday, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. In the meantime, keep collecting.